Everywhere you look, AI is reshaping our world. It's generating code, writing copy, running entire work streams at a scale we've just never seen. And it begs a huge question, right? Where do we, as humans, fit into all this? Does all this automation make us optional? Well, today, we're going to make the definitive case for why the answer is a resounding no.
And here it is, the bottom line right up front. Look, this isn't some far-off prediction. This is the new reality of building anything that's meant to last. AI has made the actual act of creating things unbelievably cheap and fast. But let's be clear, speed is not the same thing as victory. Winning, that takes something else entirely, something uniquely human.
This number, $20,000. That's what it cost the author of this piece, Ali Abuela, in AI credits to learn a really powerful lesson. He went in, his words, full send, letting AI agents build out a product for him. And he realized that what he got was fast, yeah, but it was completely missing the critical ingredients for success. So that 20 grand, it wasn't a loss. It was the price he paid for clarity.
So what are these irreplaceable human ingredients anyway? Well, the whole case for humans really rests on three core pillars. We're going to walk through each one. First, accountability, which is all about ownership. Then, differentiation, that's about having a real edge. And finally, community, which is all about shared meaning and trust.
Okay, let's dive into that first one, accountability. This is the force that turns motion into actual progress. It's the critical difference between just spinning your wheels and actually shipping something that works, that matters, and that has someone who stands behind it.
I'm sure this comparison feels pretty universal. We've all been on these kinds of projects, right? When one person is clearly responsible, things just move. Decisions get made. It's actually energizing. But the second ownership gets fuzzy or spread out among a committee, the project just drifts. It dies a slow death by 1,000 meetings. And that's not a big company problem, it's a human behavior problem.
And here is the absolute crucial point when it comes to AI. It doesn't just spread the responsibility thin, it erases it completely. An AI agent can follow commands, it can run tests, it can generate all the output in the world. But it cannot own an outcome. It can't care if it fails.
This really says it all, doesn't it? An AI agent might report system nominal, but accountability? That's a human feeling deep in your gut. When that critical system goes down in the middle of the night, no algorithm gets the page. You do. That is ownership. All right, let's move on to our second pillar, because this builds directly on the first. AI makes everyone fast. I mean, you could spin up a dozen websites, apps, or marketing campaigns in a single afternoon. But if everyone has a supercar, speed alone doesn't win the race. So how do you create a real, lasting advantage?
This is the key question you have to ask yourself. For a little while, sure, speed can be a massive advantage. Being first to market is a very real opportunity. But the trap is thinking that speed, by itself, is some kind of durable moat that's going to protect you in the long run. It's not.
Just think about it. When ChatGPT first came out, we were all amazed it could write a simple poem. Now, we expect it to browse the web, analyze complex data, and have perfect recall of our conversations. The breakthrough of yesterday becomes the baseline expectation of today. The floor of what's possible keeps rising. And you know what? Nobody applauds you for simply standing on it.
So if speed isn't the long-term answer, what is? Well, real advantage comes from building one of these classic moats. Things like brand, where people choose you even when others are good enough. Or network effects, where the product actually gets better as more people use it. These are not things you can just prompt an AI to create for you.
And that's really the big takeaway here. The job of engineering, or any creative work for that matter, isn't just about typing. It's about judgment. It's about making that non-obvious call, embracing a constraint that others avoid, and having the taste to ship the 10% of the work that truly matters. AI is incredible leverage, for sure. But humans, we are the differentiation engine. Which brings us to our final pillar, community. You see, as AI gets better and better at creating a world that's personalized just for you, it runs the risk of deleting the common ground that we all stand on. And that shared world, it's way more important than we realize.
Just imagine this. Netflix generates a movie just for you, and a totally different one for your friend, both perfectly optimized for your tastes. Sounds kind of cool, right? Until you realize you can't talk about it afterwards. There's no, hey, did you see that scene? Because their scene never existed in your movie. Personalization is useful, but it chips away at the shared stories that create real dialogue and connection.
And there's hard data to back this intuition up. According to Nielsen, we still trust recommendations from people we know far more than any other source. Not a branded website, and definitely not an ad. Human trust is still the most powerful and effective channel there is. Period.
This leads us to a new economic reality. When AI can create infinite amounts of content, the single most valuable and scarce resource becomes trust. And you can't generate trust from a prompt. It has to be earned through community, through shared experience, and through genuine human connection.
So let's tie this all together. As AI makes generic output abundant just everywhere, the entire landscape of value shifts. The things that it can't produce suddenly become the most critical assets you can have. This is what we call the human moat.
These are the new scarce resources. Ownership, someone who actually cares and is accountable. Judgment, the wisdom to make those non-obvious choices that create a real advantage. And trust and community, the human connection that no algorithm can ever fake. This is the new bedrock of value.
And so we end with this thought. An AI can ship code, it can write articles, it can even run businesses. It can produce an infinite amount of work. But it cannot generate someone who cares if that work succeeds in a meaningful way, by earning trust, by solving a real problem, by building something that lasts. That part, the part that truly matters, is and will forever be human.